Hello. I'm back at the park that I was with my friends during the summer. And I actually went during the fall with my family as well. And now we're on the cusp of winter and spring, and I'm back here by myself. And the sun is setting. Where it has set. And it's in the process of completing that. But yeah, I'm here and I'm just really, I'm really proud to be here. I'm really happy to be here compared to 1 year ago. Around this time, it's a little bit early, but soon it will be 1 year since I started my YouTube channel, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy with where I've come since about 1 year ago. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy this walk and the rest of this sunset. You know, this is one thing I've been thinking about recently. It's that, you know, I've described myself before on my YouTube channel as like an emotional person. And I think oftentimes when people say that, or when we commonly think of that, whenever we describe someone as like an emotional person, that means that they get upset for something small and they just cry very often, or they get upset like very often at small things, like everyday inconveniences. Well, like whenever I say like I'm an emotional person, I think I want to make a good point. Well, I'll just try my best. I think a lot of like little things, it sounds like I'm just contradicting myself, but a lot of little interactions or happenings create little sensitive feelings within you, I would describe kind of like an internal like radar that I have, that honestly that's really what supports my intuition, I would say, that like internal radar, that it just gives me the right feeling of what to do, of what I want to do. And it's not something that I reasoned out. It's not something I thought about, but I just know what I want to do right away. And that radar, I think, being very sensitive and being in touch with that radar, I think is part of being an emotional person in the way that I'm describing it. And yeah, I think a way that I think an emotional person should be described as is that like there are just moments where you just feel like everything around you just explodes with meaning. Everything around you just explodes with meaning and feeling. And for example, there have been many times where I just look at like the birds flying in the sky, and I just almost want to just cry, like just looking at them, because I just have this feeling of like, this is just perfect the way it is, and I have to do nothing for it to happen. It's just perfect the way it is, and I just feel it. I know that's not like a logical thing, but yeah, I just, I mean, the sunset, I think, is maybe one that a lot of people can understand as well. That sort of feeling where you just look and it's just perfect the way it is. And I think something that I would add that isn't commonly said is that feeling of like, I don't have to do anything. I'm not responsible for that. It just happens. It's like that self-awareness of related to meditation kind of supports that feeling of appreciating everything around you, the just remarkable amount of cohesion that everything has in the way that it works together, and just beauty and intelligence that just functions without any of your individual effort. And you can just observe that. Yeah. Running out of light here, as has happened many times. But I think these are all related in the sense that I think me being an emotional person is related to me kind of getting emotional about a seasonal change in life. However I perceive that. Like, it's actually, the season's changing now. The weather is changing and everything, the physical seasons. But whenever I think about my personal life and how things are changing, and it, like, whenever I feel like I'm on the cusp of a transition between periods, and I just appreciate, like, I feel like I understand what has happened, and I kind of just reminisce about some old, before that period, and maybe as a child, how I felt, and just now going through that period and changing into a new period. Like, it just makes me feel emotional that it happened. And like this overwhelming sense of appreciation and gratitude of just everything that I've experienced and where I am and what I have. It just feels like I'm being carried beautifully through this story of life. And I feel so lucky to be there in that position. And that's how I feel now. I feel lucky to be here in this position. Whenever you can kind of grasp that sense of understanding for the past. And that's kind of like why, okay, so let's talk about something a little bit more tangible. Well, that's kind of why I like coming back to like the same place in a different time. Just because, in a way, I'm putting myself in a similar external situation that I've been in before, and when I perceive those things and I know it's different, I perceive it differently just because it is a different time, then it's kind of like a mirror back within me. Back within me. It's like a mirror to my internal aspects. And it gives me a sense of understanding. And so it's kind of nice to come back to the same place. And that could be so many different things, you know. Here I am on this trail. It could be coming home from college to my family. It could be doing something that I haven't done in a while, that the last time I did was in the previous season. And it's kind of like a beautiful mirror that shows you, that reflects your the internal aspects of your nature back at you. And yeah, so I'm running out of lights, so I guess I should try and wrap up for now. But I hope whoever's watching this, is able to feel this sense of appreciation and gratitude for your life and everything you've experienced. And at least at different, whatever you feel is different milestones in your life, you're able to just look back and just feel something. Thank you for watching. One more thing. I'm just proud. I'm really proud of myself just to be here, and to be here in the way that I am here now. Because I could have made so many other different choices within the past year, and I didn't. I made the choices that I made. So I'm proud of that. And of course, just extremely grateful for the opportunity to choose and for where I am now and for what the future may hold. So now, thank you for watching. One more thing. I think with meditation and just being more conscious, this is one of those like crazy things about meditation that I've found. And it's that like whenever I started getting more into it and whenever I found progress in it, for example, I found myself waking up naturally at sunrise and also feeling like that internal feeling and conscious like noise. It's really hard to explain, but just this meditative feeling very strongly during sunset too. That's something I found in my own experience. And later I saw like on the internet that there's like some information behind that, like why you would feel that specifically during sunrise or sunset. And also I've seen just from information that there's also significance behind like a full moon or the other moon phases, but specifically a full moon. And other times of the year or other times where planetary bodies are in certain positions. And what we know with the moon, obviously, what the phases of the moon, what physical effect those have on the earth. And even with sunset and sunrise, I'm sure there's some implications behind that. And so that's very interesting. That's very interesting because we know that significance on the earth, the physical impact on the earth. And so the question is, how does that affect the human system? And there's some connections there between that and meditation and spirituality. And that's something I find very interesting as a student of physics and someone who's interested in space, you know, along with physics. I think that that's really interesting. And yeah, connecting those things and your experience. The question is, how much are those really connected? And that's something I'm not sure. All I know is my own experience, and all I know is from my own experience and physical theories. So yeah, I think that's also interesting. Oh, and so my point with that is well, in that way you can see there seems to be some sort of significance between being more conscious during transitionary periods, at least with planets. And yes, where planetary bodies are in certain positions, there seems to be some sort of significance behind being more conscious at those times. So maybe those are also connected to other transitionary periods. I'm not sure. But yes, that's it. Okay, I mean, I feel like that's just crazy to think about. Like things like that, like whenever I found that I was naturally like waking up at sunrise and I was feeling that experiencing that meditative feeling, which is so hard to describe in words. Whenever I was noticing that during certain times, like sunrise and stuff, I mean, that's crazy. Like how that could be related to different things about the earth or the solar system. I mean, that's super interesting. So, and yes, having this curiosity about space and our human system is just crazy. I think certain things like that, if you find it in your own experience, it's unbelievable. So these are some of the things I think are really interesting. That's it.